Okay, let's start. Okay, so first we're going to start with rapid naming. So let's go ahead and do our letter chart. First row.
E-G-N-A-P-F.
All right, let's go for 1 minute. Ready, begin.
E-G-N-A-P-F. D-B-R-S-U-M-D. O-L-T-Z-V-Z. I-W-Y-H-U-K. Z-J-T-J-K-W. E-G-N-A-P-F. B-R-S-U-M-D. O-L-T-C-V-Z. I-W-Y-H-U-K. Z-J-T-J-K-W. E-G-N-A-P-F. D-B-R-S-U-M-D. O-L.
Okay, nice job, 60. 72, 73, 74. 74 letters per minute. Okay, so next we are going to move to, today you are going to, we're going to blend. You're going to blend the sounds. So I will say sounds and you will tell me the word. All right, and full
Clam.
Clam.
Clam. Track. Glass.
What was my word?
Glass. Class. Step. Flat.
What was it?
Flat. Stem.
Oh, we'll do this last one.
Clam.
Okay. And now we're going to read our word chart. Alright, so first row. Ready? What was this one? Pat. And pat. And, I should have gone through that with you, so let's do it again. Good. And again. Okay.
That was harder.
Yeah, it was a little harder, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. So 52.
Well, that's good.
That is good.
It's a good marriage.
And do me a favor, repeat this.
Up, at, pat, pat, map, tap.
Good. All right, so We're not going to do handwriting today because we're doing a new concept. So we're going to skip our handwriting. And we are going to go to our reading deck. So, here we're going to start with this one. All right, so ready?
Special situations, we just have to know them. A banana, open syllable.
Open syllable ends in one vowel. I should have stopped that one, sorry. Sorry, open syllable ends in one vowel. The vowel in an open accented syllable is long. What do we?
Code with three.
From. Long vowels say their name.
I. Consonants.
Consonants what?
Close the mouth.
The sound is
partially
blocked or blocked by the
teeth, tongue, or lips. We full. T tables. S socks. S nose. P pig. N nest. Closed syllables.
closed syllable ends in at least one consonant after one vowel. The vowel is syllable short. Three.
A banana. Apple. A apple. App. I-H. It.
So next we're going to do our word part. Okay, so we have a base word. A base word is a plain word. A derivative is a base word plus a suffix. Yes, a suffix. We code it with a box. That's a suffix. And a suffix is what? A letter or a group of letters added to the end of a base word. Consonant suffix S tips more than one. Okay. So now we're going to go on to the spelling deck. So today we are going to use sand. How's that? Sand? Aww. You don't like the sand? Tomorrow we'll use the arrow paper, okay? How's that?
Good.
So remember, I will say the sound, you will echo, and I will say the sound, you will echo the sound. Oh, and then wait. Can you have your eyes on me? I will say the sound. You will echo the sound. You will name the letter and then write it. And name as you write it. Okay? Here we go. I think I heard it.
S.
Clear?
P.
Name as you write. Okay, Davis. What was that?
S.
Name as you write. Name as you write. Clear? And thank you, Davis, for naming as you write it. Davis, can you just say it one time for me? Can you say what's the letter again? Thanks. Can you say it one time? Name as you write.
N.
All right. Ooh.
L.
Erase.
T.
Thank you for naming David. And I.
I.
Good. And erase. Here. Okay. Well, thank you for doing that. And, oops, I forgot to move the spelling. So now we're going to go over our concept for today. So we're going to learn a new concept today. We're going to learn a new concept. So, I need you to, oops, I don't have my book. Right here, let me grab my book. I took it home with me. So, here we go. I want you to listen for the sound that is the same in the initial position. Ready? Dentist.
Dentist.
Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
Differ.
Differ.
What sound did I hear in the initial position? The D sound. What do you think? Okay, look at it now. Everybody say D. What do you notice about your mouth?
It's partially blocked.
Oh, what's blocking it?
The teeth.
The teeth. Anything else?
The
The teeth and tongue. Davis, what's blocking it?
the teeth and tongue.
The teeth and tongue. So now put it down. Let's see if it's voiced or unvoiced. Ready? Say voiced or unvoiced? Good. So be careful whenever we say it's d. All right. Now, do you think it's going to be a vowel or consonant?
Consonant.
Why?
Because it's black.
Okay. What about vowels? What do you say about vowels? All vowels are open and voiced. Is this one open? No, it's not open. How do you think we would spell the D sound? How would we spell the D sound?
D.
You think D? Anything else? D? Anything else? Well, let's see. Let's look up here. D. E-N-T-I-S-T, dentist. D-Y-N-A-M-I-T-E, dynamite. D-I-N-O-S-A-U-R, dinosaur. And D-I-F-F-E-R, differ. What do you notice in all these words? Yes.
They all start with D.
They all start with the letter D. They all start with the letter D.
David started with the letter D.
Davis says, and I'm sorry, that was my fault. I called you Evan because I always Evan and Davis. I don't know why. I didn't mean to confuse the names. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Ready? Okay. So listen to this little riddle, please. I can sit, I can stand, I can lick your hand, while my tricks can leave you agog. I'm loyal and true, because I do love you. I'm man's best friend, I'm your
Dog. I have a dog.
You have a dog? Give me a thumbs up if you have a dog. Give me a thumbs up if you have a dog.
But she's not loyal.
No. Oh.
We were trying to take, my mom's a therapist, and she wants our dog to be a therapist dog, so we're trying to train her.
Oh, you're trying to train her to be a therapist?
My dog's a honey cat dog.
Can we share stories about your dogs when I walk you back to class? Let's do that, okay?
But I'm not going to be working with you.
So let's look here. We have D, dog. Again.
D dog D. D dog D. How do you write a D?
Good question. What was your question, Holly?
How do you write a D cursive?
How do
Oh,
you
I can
write
do
a
it.
D? I'm gonna show you.
I can do it. I
So-
can write for the class.
Okay, well, you can show me on your paper. So first, I'm gonna show you how to do the letter D. So let's look up here.
So simple.
D. What do you notice? First, let's flip. What do we notice? Where's our letter D?
Right there.
What kind of strokes will it be?
C. Under over stop.
Under over stop. Under over stop, the same as. What letter have we learned?
A.
Right. So for our letter D,
But we have to go up.
we have to go up. So watch D. Under over stop. Back around. Up. Down. Release.
That one's
Okay.
Yeah, I do it.
So watch me. Remember, we went to waistline to baseline. Hand straight in front of us. Whichever hand you're right with. Ready, and just watch me. Ready, name D.
D.
Under, over, stop. Back around. Up, down, release. Stand up. Ready, name
D.
D. Under, over, stop. Back around. Up, down, release. Remember, put your hand waistline. And ready, name D. Under, over, stop. Back around. Up, down, release. Good. Remember to go up to the top. All right, have a seat. So we are going to and write the letter D. So go ahead and put your, actually, we want to look up here, please. First, we're going to make sure your feet are both flat on the floor. Your feet flat. You sit straight up. Place both arms on the desk. Just scoot over, you can give some space if you need to. Place your paper parallel with your writing arm. And since focus principle, we're going to use our finger first. We're going to trace it 3 times. Ready, name. D. Under, over, stop. Back around. Up, down, release. Ready, name.
D.
Under,
Over stop.
back
Around. Up. Down.
ready, name.
A.
D.
Under, over, stop, back around, up, down, release.
Up, down, release. All right, so now I'm going to give you today. All right, ready? Put it on that first arrow. Ready, name. D. Oh, under, over, stop, back around, up, down. Baby, tell me my stroke again. Under, over, stop, back around, up, down, release. All right.
Up to the tip.
Yeah, it's going to say up, down, release. All right, ready?
Good.
Name. D. Under, over, stop,
Back around, up, down, release.
ready, name. D.
Under, over, stop, back around,
Up.
down, release.
Okay, put those down, please. Now you're going to plan it on the next arrow. You can just leave it as is because you're going to write in a minute. So go to your next arrow. We're going to plan it 3 times. Ready, name. D.
D.
Under, over, stop,
Back
back,
around, up, down, release.
ready, name.
D. Under, over, stop, back around, up, down, release.
Ready, name.
D. Under, over, stop, back around, up, down, release.
Good. Go ahead. You will make a copy with your writing. Ready, name.
D.
Make sure on there. Oops, sorry, that's my yeah. Make sure on the arrow. I'm ready, name. D. Under,
Over,
stop, back around, up,
down,
down,
release.
release.
like these.
Okay.
It's so skinny.
All right, let me have yours.
It's actually supposed to be skinny.
Go ahead and place those on the ground, please. So, now let's look up here. What can you tell me about this? Yes.
It's dog.
It's dog. What else did we learn?
It's a consonant.
It's a consonant.
It's a consonant.
It's an under, over, down.
It is an under over stop, right? With handwriting, good. Under over stop.
It's partially
Why?
by the teeth and tongue.
Partially blocked by teeth and tongue.
Can't go that one. It's voice.
It is what? Voice. And then also I'm going to tell you the sound, so be careful. We want to clip the sound. So watch me. It's not a continuum. We don't say duh or duh. So be careful. We don't want to say duh. The sound is duh. We just clip it. Can you hear it one more time? All right. So learned a lot. The letter D is pronounced D. The D sound is blocked by the teeth and tongue. The D sound is voice, and it is clipped. All right, ready? D, dog, D.
Dog.
All right, so next we will. Where do you think we're going to place this? Behind what?
Consonant.
Behind consonants?
Yes.
Yes?
Or
Are they
close syllable.
No, not close.
Okay, why would we do a close
Wait,
syllable?
no, not close syllable. Wait.
What are our close syllables? Those close syllables are what?
Open.
Vowels. Vowels or consonants? Vowels. Close syllables are vowels. So it will go behind our consonants. Okay. So let's look here. Now we're going to go on to reading. Okay. Let's look here. All right, so we are going to read some of our words. So let's look up here. D-I-P. If you know the words, keep it in your head. Keep the word in your head if you know it. Oops, that's my fault. I did. It should be L-A-D. Sorry. D-A-D. Mrs. Hernandez does make mistakes too. And S-A-D. Okay, so let's look at our first word. What's my vowel? I. Open or close? So let's look here. We know that we have our two syllable types. We are open, and we've learned our open and what? Closed. And what do we know about a closed syllable? Yes. What do we know about a closed syllable?
You put a leaf.
We code it with a breathe, and then also our vowel is what?
Followed by a consonant.
Followed by a consonant. And in an open syllable, is there anything following it?
No.
Following our vowel? No. So we have a vowel. Our vowel right here is I. Is it opened or closed?
Closed.
Closed. What do we know? In a closed syllable, the vowel is short. We'll code it with a breathe. Everybody prepare this in your head. Read.
Yeah.
Good. What's my vowel here? What are you talking about vowel? Yes. A. Opened or closed? Closed. We have what following it? A D. Consonants following it. What do we know in a closed syllable? The vowel is
Short.
prepare in your head. Read. Our next one. Tell me what's my vowel. A. Opened or closed?
Closed.
Closed. What do we know? And then closed.
Short.
Prepare in your head. And read. And let's look here. Everybody, what's my last? Where's my vowel? Opened or closed?
In a closed syllable.
In a closed syllable. Vowel short.
Coded with a breathe.
preparing your hand. And read. Sad. Pretty sad. Okay. So,
I'm sitting on my trouble that day.
so let's look at the top. Look at the very top. Look at the very top of your paper.
This is
D
equals
D
equals
D is pronounced D.
yeah.
All right, so first row for your first word, code and prepare. And read. What's my word, Callie?
Do.
Next word, code and prepare. Code and prepare.
Mine.
Oh, perfect. Pencil. I have one in my hand for you. Read that one in your head, only that second word. And read.
Glad.
Glad. Next one, last word, code and prepare. Read.
And
Go to row 2, first word, code and prepare. Read.
did.
Oh, what's the word, everybody?
Did.
Next word, code and prepare. Read.
Did. Yes.
Y'all, code the next one, please. Y'all go ahead and code the last one. What do we mean about this one? What do we see? So what do we mean by the consonant suffix? What do we call the consonant suffix here? Box. All right, everybody, prepare the last one in your head. What's the last word? And read.
Land.
Oh, let's stop. Let's go back to this.
And land.
What's my word?
Land.
Land. Okay, y'all prepare quickly. So right here, what's my vowel sound? Ah. So my word is land. Good. Code and prepare all of line 3. Make sure you prepare that in your head by reading.
Maybe with the teeth.
All right, and line 3, read.
Dad.
Code 4 and 5 on your own. Code 4 and 5 on your own. All right, row 4. Let's go to row 4 and read.
Sad, had, land.
Okay, let's look at row 4 again. Let's look at that first word. Okay, let's look up here really quick. S-A-N-D. What's my vowel?
A.
Open or close?
Close.
Close. What do I know about it? Any close syllable, the vowel is go to with it.
Could it three?
All right, now let's look here. What is that word? What is it?
And.
If I show this, what is my word? Make sure I'm clear. Okay. All right, so on 4, that first word is what? And your next word? Your next word? What is your next word? And our last word is what? I'm hearing slid and slad. So let's look at this one really quick. Yeah, so let's just look at this word. Let's look here really quick. Let's look here really quick, please. What's my vowel? I. Open or close, Callie?
Close.
Close. Vowel shortcut 3. Now, let's look here. This is an I. What's the sound? So read that, please. Rib. Slit. So could that be slat?
No.
Slit. All right, go to row 5. Go to row 5. And row 5. Let's read. Ready, read.
Yeah.
Lid, sad, sand.
Good. Okay, go to row 2, please. Row 2. Circle the word that had the consonant suffix S. And what word did you circle?
Dips.
And go to line 5. Line 5. Circle the word that rhymes with rid, kid. What rhymes with rid, kid in line 5? And what did y'all circle?
Lid.
Good job. Great. Go ahead and put that to the side, please. Put that
That's
to the
my
side.
sad drop.
All right, so I'm going to add 2 new words. Can you move this? I'm going to add 2 new words. What do we have here?
Dips.
Dips and stand. We're going to add dips and stand. You got that? You okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get it.
Make sure feet flat on the floor whenever we're on our wobble chairs. All right, and when I touch it, you will read.
Dips. Tip.
Oh, let me touch.
Tip. Snacks. Ass. Nip. Nip. Nip.
Yeah, I can do that. Get rid of that one too. Because you said them so quickly. So good with those words. All right. So next we are going to go on to. We're going to go on. I keep forgetting. We did the reading. Now we're going to go on to our spelling practice. Our spelling practice. That was your spelling deck. So now we're going to do our spelling practice. So we have. Right. We have learned the sound is spelled with the letter D. So let's listen here. So you will repeat each word. So you will say the word. If you hear the D sound, you will say D. If not, you just say no. Ready? Repeat the word. D. And so say D. D. Pen. Say the word. Pen.
No.
Dig.
Digs.
Dog.
Dog.
Rug.
No.
Land. Got the end. Land. That was a tricky one. And last one. Sink.
No. Can we add another one?
Another one. Davis. Oh, tell me my word. Davis. What do we hear? D. What sound? What's my sound? What's my phoneme sound? All right.
Oh, I know how to do C.
Okay, so now we are going to get your spelling.
And the O from that. If we see your name, but in front of
Davis. Hallie Arabella. Please turn to page 8. Go to page 8.
Oh, I need how to page 15.
8.
Are we doing E or just D?
Oh, that's a good question. So if you look on page 8, she asked, are we doing ED or just D? So what I want y'all to do, look at the very top. Look at the first. I want you to highlight as I read. The D sound in initial, medial, or final position of a base word is spelled D as in dog. Good. So now go to the first column and highlight that D, please.
Does that make sense?
Okay, so all of our words will be in the first column. All right, so can I have my markers?
Wait.
Unit 2 is right now.
All right. All right, pencils down. Let's look up here.
Okay, so look, this is the same.
Let's look up here. So we're going to take our SOS. So remember, we will
Just a subtraction. Yeah, so I think we should probably take all of this because I think this
we're going to look and listen.
Unit 10 has
You will repeat and segment the words. Naming letters. So right here, that's what we call the finger stretching. You're going to name the letters.
You might want both of them.
You will name and write and read the check.
And write down.
All right.
So,
Put it down. Okay, first word. Dad.
dad. D-A-D.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, be quick. If Morgan wants to do
Read to check.
Dad.
This is helpful. I think
Read to check. Dip.
D-I-D.
Read to check. Next one. Lad.
Lad.
Where they
L-A-D.
maybe what I see is she needs something. She needs to
Stop. Oh my God.
My D was messed up because of the P.
And read to check.
Lad.
What's my word?
Lad.
So you have to turn out
My D was messed up.
And
let's go to the big building.
had.
And I can print out
Had.
that book I had last year. The printer's not working here anyways.
Yeah.
Can you erase and read to check.
Oh, what is that?
Good. How did you say that? And read your spelling unit. What is that?
Yeah. Pad.
All right. Close it. So we know D is spelled the letter D. All right. So now we are going to. We're going to go on to
Story time.
Story time. Story time.
our extended reading first. So, all right, our extended reading. So,
Story time.
I'm going to read Cinderella. It's a fairy tale. Now, this one is a tale from Iran. Response.
We did that story in Mrs. Barnes.
You did this response house, so they know some stuff about it.
Oh, yeah.
It was better.
So when we are listening to this story, we want to, afterwards, we're going to characters and the setting.
I think the characters is Cinderella because in the title it says Cinderella.
And so Cinderella. I know I'm kind of familiar with it.
Ow, Mommy.
Okay, well let's look and see if these have the same characters as some of our other characters that we've heard in the fairy tale, right?
Mommy's the nicest.
So Cinderella, a tale from France.
Mommy's the one.
Once upon a time, there was a good and kind girl. She lived with her stepmother and 2 sisters. The stepmother and stepsisters were not kind. They gave the girl all the work to do. They never, ever thanked her. Sweep the floor, wash the dishes, said the stepmother. Bring wood for the fire, ordered the stepsisters. The girl worked hard. Then she sat by the fire. Cinders from the fire covered her clothes, so the stepsisters called the girl Cinderella. Do we have any, right now, do we have any characters that we can introduce? Yes. Cinderella. Okay, so we had Cinderella.
Stepsisters and the stepmother. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to write it down here just so we can see. The stepsisters. And who did we say?
The stepmother.
The stepmother.
The stepmother's so evil. The stepmother's such a stepmother. How is it?
Where's our setting taking place?
Oh, I think in the cottage.
In a cottage, maybe? In a house?
I would call it cheese.
Imagine. So let's just look at
A cottage cheese.
So let's see what happens. It came to pass that the prince gave a ball for his birthday. The stepmother and stepsisters were excited. May I go? asked Cinderella. No, you may not, said her stepmother. You must stay home and cook. On the night of the ball, Cinderella had double the amount of work to do. Sew our gowns, bring my jewels, help us dress, said the stepmother to Cinderella. Finally, off they went to the ball. Cinderella was left all alone. So, where are the sisters going?
To the ball.
So, will we have a new setting?
Ball.
Where can we have that?
The ball.
The ball. Yes.
She's not all alone.
I'm sorry?
She's not all alone. And all the stories that I've seen and read, she has the power to talk to animals.
So let's see what happens here. Cinderella was sad. She began to weep. Suddenly she heard a voice say, "Don't cry." Cinderella saw a woman with silver hair. The woman wore a beautiful dress. Who are you? Cinderella asked. I am your fairy godmother, said the woman.
I wish I had fairy.
You are so good and kind, said the fairy godmother. As your reward, you will go to the ball. You must be a clever collector. Bring me 2 mice and your cat. Then bring the pumpkin stored in the shed. Cinderella did just as her fairy godmother asked. Can we add anything to our chart?
She's the garden.
Okay, she's
The character we also add the fairy godmother.
our fairy godmother.
Fairy godmother.
What do you want to add?
It says that's in the garage.
Let's see. Where was it?
What did you say last story?
Oh, stored in the shed. And bring the pumpkin stored in the shed.
So shed.
You want to add shed?
Shed is usually like a garage.
Because she had to go to the shed. That's a good. Oh, what did you compare shed to? Like a what?
Garage.
Garage. Then and there, the fairy godmother changed the pumpkin into a coach. The mice became a pair of horses. The cat became the driver. Before Cinderella could say a word, she was dressed in gold from head to toe. On her feet were little glass slippers. One thing more, said the fairy godmother, you must be home by midnight. I promise, said Cinderella, and off she went to the ball.
Instead of it being English, it's a gold.
It's a gold dress. It's a gold dress. Everyone stared at Cinderella. They all wondered who she was. The prince danced only with Cinderella. He was so happy. Cinderella was happy too. All too soon, the clock struck midnight. Cinderella ran away. Cinderella raced down the steps. One glass slipper fell off. She could not stop to pick it up. Cinderella reached the palace gates. The clock's chimes ended. Her dress changed back to rags. Cinderella's cat and the two mice ran after her.
The prince.
Our character, we can add a
Prince. You could add castle.
Ooh, what do you want to add to the setting?
Castle.
Castle. Good.
It's a ball.
Setting. The prince ran after Cinderella. He could not catch her. He was left with one glass slipper. I must find the girl who wore this slipper, he said. When I do, I will marry her. She is my true love. The prince went to every house in the land. Each day tried on the glass slipper. The slipper fit no one. The prince went to the home of Cinderella. Let us try on the slipper, said the stepsisters. Of course, the slipper did not fit them. She can't get her foot into there.
The whole foot is so big.
Toes.
May I try it on? asked Cinderella shyly. The stepsisters laughed. The glass slipper fit Cinderella. Imagine their surprise. Cinderella put on the other slipper. Suddenly, she was dressed in gold from head to toe. The prince was filled with joy. Will you be my wife? He asked. Cinderella said yes, and they married. Cinderella's family begged her to forgive them. She was so kind that she did. They all lived happily ever after. Yes, Davis.
In the first movie that I ever watched of Cinderella, Cinderella did not do that. And Cinderella was hard some boys and we had the eyes.
So, but in here, she was what? What was the word? She forgave them. There was one word. Kind. She was kind and forgave them. So, let's review our characters really quick. In our story, we had
Cinderella, stepsister, stepmother, fairy godmother, prince.
And our setting was
house, ball, shed, castle.
Yes.
Why were these two?
Well, we're gonna do that tomorrow. It's good. We're gonna go over we're gonna review the story and go over what happened in the story. Okay. So now we're going to do retelling a story, our oral language. So we're going to retell. Remember we talked about we read the story. The story we read was Abdul's birthday present.
What?
Yes, so you'll remember, Mom. Remember we read the present?
No.
When you went to the pet shop, Abdul, to get his...
No, we didn't read that.
Oh, we didn't? So then I'm wrong. I must have been in my other group. Okay, then we're going to go back. So then we will go back and you will listen. So perfect. We're going to listen to the story. Abdul's birthday present. So you just listen. Abdul was so excited. It was his birthday and his father said that he could have a pet. Abdul didn't know what kind of pet he wanted. His father said, I'll take you to the pet shop so you can decide. When Abdul and his father arrived at the pet shop, Abdul was amazed at all the different kinds of pets he could choose from. How will I ever decide, he said. I know you will be able to decide. Take your time and look at all of the pets, his father said. Abdul went over to the glass tank that held a long, slithery snake. Snakes are cool, he said. A snake might make a good pet. Abdul thought for a moment and said, snakes are cool, but if it ever got out of its tank, it would scare my little sister. Besides, you can't play with the snake and you can't hug it. Abdul went over to look at a brightly colored bird in a cage. Maybe a bird would make a good pet. It is so pretty to look at, and I bet I could teach it to talk, he said. Abdul thought for a moment and said, it is a pretty pet, but if it ever got out of its cage, it would fly away and be lost forever. Besides, you can't play with the bird, and you can't hug it. Abdul then went over to a wire hutch with a cute, floppy-eared rabbit inside. Rabbits are so soft. Maybe a rabbit would make a good pet, he said.
Oh.
Abdul thought for a moment and said, rabbits are soft and I bet I could hug it. But if it ever got out of its touch, the rabbit might chew the furniture. I know, Mom wouldn't like that. Abdul heard a tiny yip. He turned around. In the window of the paint shop, there was a frisky little puppy with a brown coat and 4 white paws. That's it, he said. I'll get a puppy. A puppy would make a great place. I could play with it and teach it tricks. It wouldn't scare my sister. It wouldn't fly away. I know it may chew on things in the beginning, but I could teach it to not to chew on things. And I can hug it and love it. Yes, a puppy is a perfect pet. Abdul, his father, and the little puppy went home. So let's look at this. What did Abdul want for his birthday? Who tell me? A what? Who went with Abdul to the pet store?
Dad.
Why was a snake not a good pet to choose?
Because if you can't hug it, I'll play with it. And it might scare his little
It might scare the little sister. Good. Davis.
I do know about it. My aunt,
Let's finish this. Oh, I'm sorry. Why was a bird not a good pet to choose?
if it ever got out, it might fly away.
What did Abdul finally choose?
A dog.
How did he feel about the puppy?
He felt happy because he could play.
What would you choose? And why would you choose an animal for a pet? So we'll go through everybody. What would you choose and
I
why?
would choose a dog because they're cute.
Dogs because they're cute, they're loyal, and they can help a lot of stuff.
I know what
And Arabella?
I would choose a rabbit because I like rabbits and they're really soft and fluffy.
Soft and fluffy. All right, so tomorrow we're going to retell. So I messed up on that activity. Wait, we're going to do our last. Hold on, have a seat. I'm going to start reading this book called Frindle to you. Frindle? You've heard this?
My brother.
Your brother read it?
My brother has it.
It's a really good book. I read this to my 3rd graders last year.
My brother read it
That's really
fourth grade.
So I'm just going to read really quick 2 pages. If you ask the kids and the teacher at Lincoln Elementary School to make 3 lists, all the really bad kids, all the really smart kids, and all the really good kids, Nick Allen would not be on any of them. Nick deserved a list all on his own, and everyone knew it. Was Nick a troublemaker? Hard to say. One thing's for sure, Nick Allen had plenty of ideas, and he knew what to do with them. One time in 3rd grade, Nick decided to turn Mrs. Deaver's room into a tropical island. What kid in New Hampshire isn't ready for a little summer in February? So first, he got everyone to make small palm trees out of green and brown construction paper and tape them onto the corners of each desk. Mrs. Deaver had only been a teacher for about 6 months, and she was delighted. That's so cute. The next day, all the girls wore paper flowers in their hair, and all the boys wore sunglasses and beach hats. Mrs. Deaver clapped her hands and said, "It's so colorful." And unfortunately, I have to stop there because I have to get to our next lesson. So we're going to read this. Got it? All right. Please gather your stuff, and you may go back to